Hi, it's Ronnie Goldbeck on July 1st, 2012. I'm doing a paper review with Dylan, watching the newspapers. He's reading the Style. I'm reading the Sunday Times, the Sunday Business Post, a little bit of the Independent today. Starting with the hard stuff. It's a portrait of a young girl clasping an axe taken on the banks of the Brigaday River in Tasmania. And the shot's called, it's called Fear Can't Hurt You Any More Than a Dream. It's from a series by the photographer Sarah Rhodes, exploring survival, childhood, innocence, and the rite of passage. I like the shot, as well as many of the others in Spectrum. That's something you can get at sundaytimes.co.uk/Spectrum. Buy the Sunday Times a lot of times for these kind of things. And I'm also doing a kind of the emergence of my young daughter, and she's talking about childhood and escaping into the realm of primary school. Well, along the way, she'll learn ways of saving money. It's something that's inside the Computer and Business magazine supplement for the Sunday Business Post today. A host of free or cheap services profiled in a cover story by Dick O'Brien, leading with Skype, Cash IQ, Dropbox, DocsIQ.com, Drive.co.com, MobileReady.ie, and a few others. Well, a bunch of others. All of them pretty useful. And if Dylan has his hands on it, let's see what he chooses. Dylan, you want the big Computer and Business magazine? I'm sure you can do well with it. Look at that, how big it is. Value for money. Inside the Sunday Times, the state says it wants its €32 billion back from banks. Sarah McInerney has that story. Senior government sources said Michael Noonan, the finance minister, is going to be asking for the return of all the money that he threw into AIB, the Bank of Ireland, Irish Life and Permanent, even though they're now only worth a fraction of the money of that money that was actually invested in them. Inside this Sunday Times, I ran to the Independent, tried to find out from Shane Rice, who caused all this problem. Shane writes an article in the business section of the Indo, and he basically says, look, bankers like Richie Boucher, well paid that they are, a millionaire during the decline of the Irish banking sector, aren't responsible. The banking collapse, Shane says, was not your fault. It's an awful mistake. You do not lend recklessly. You were perfectly fit to run a bank. Shane's got attitude. Probably not as much as Leo Varadkar does, though. He's a plain-speaking minister with a lone voice. Michael Clifford writes, the Minister for Tourism, Sport and Transport, intent on a long career in politics. Hard to do when you're a straight shooter. You know what? I'd love to see himself and John McGuinness on a radio chat show if they ever leave politics. God, those guys they shoot from the hip, don't they? Create storms. Well, kind of like Clonakilty at the center of the storm again. Harry Leach and Gabrielle Monahan point out why it's happening, and basically it's an overdue river works project there. Also, could you get notice beforehand? Well, we're going to have these big 48-hour events. The people like Karen Hickey, a geography lecturer at NUI Galway, says as long as the jet stream stays over Ireland, bringing in the potential of double low pressure systems hovering over the country. I'll Have What She Said is a really good article by India Knight, and it's on the death of Nora Ephron. Everything is copied. She's writing about her love of New York, sex, blandness of egg white omelets, feminism, and on and on and on. I'll miss her writing with the screen and beyond. You know, she'd write a hell of a story on John Delaney. At odds with Delaney is an article written in the breaking news section of the Sunday Times. Paul Rowan says, you know, it's hard for Delaney to understand that the world may not just love him. And what they're pointing out is that, you know, it's a need to be loved by John. John he craves signs of affection, even if it comes from a group of inebriated fans. John Delaney, you're not probably watching this. You actually need a media helper, and maybe a media psychologist to help you understand when you become the story, maybe that's not good for sales of box office tickets or corporate boxes in your FAI stadiums. Caprice has nailed the Dublin DJ stint. This is a back chat article by Leanne Moore, and it's for you, Peter Donegan. You know, if somebody involved in the fashion industry can turn tables at Rouge in Swords Dublin, maybe yourself and Brian Green can spin the records there. I'm thinking about you as I look at stuff I can cook. And here's a wish list item. Anybody wants to give me a donation of €449, I'll go right on out and spend it at Sous Vide Supreme. It's a way of cooking stuff in a bag, vacuum sealed pouches. Put your food inside this thing and boom, boom, boom. You can boil it, you can steam it, you can cook it, and lose no nutrients. I need that kind of a thing. Don't you? Sunday Business Post front page story says, by Ian Keogh says, there may be a corporate enforcement against the Quinns. Sean Quinn and his family, well, the findings are by the High Court that they're in contempt of that court with blatant, dishonest, and deceitful schemes. Not so good if you're Sean Quinn. So that's worse than being barred from being a director. Serve time, boy. Hey, Ireland's equine success is being taken to China. Niamh Connolly gets a story of a local boy, a local Coolmore stud. Over the past 2 months, 7 top graduates from China's universities have been at Coolmore Stud trying to learn how to do the horsey business. Maybe we should get involved. I work at LHE Clonmel. We're right down the street. Hey, research made easy for all. Gareth Naughton has a profile of Exordo. I'm using Exordo right now for the Learning Innovation Network that's being run in Dublin, an event in Dublin. Exordo is a high potential startup. They've got software for running conferences, research conferences. Good stuff. Adrian Weckler says something about my rural lifestyle, basically saying mobile phone owners in rural Ireland probably aren't going to get the benefits of 4G connectivity right away because there's no need for those new providers, that new spectrum to serve all of Ireland. Only 70% of Ireland need to be served. But Adrian gives me some hope. He says, look, mobile operators aren't going to retreat from rural coverage because that's a sales pitch for them. Hey, in my case, it basically means I'm not going to get 4G coverage until 2 or 3 years after my friends in Dublin. That's just the way it is. Hey, Catherine O'Mahony, you know Adrian, I know that. 10 ways technology can make your summer better, she writes in Media World. Points out number 9, recording memories. And in neither Adrian's column or Dick O'Brien's column, they actually get on an excellent way of doing it with AudioBoo, the technology I'm using, audioboo.fm/topgold. Record the memories, the voice, the sound of the environment. And nowhere in her little 10 ways technology can make your summer better does she actually say, fit a book. Well, she says fit a book and an e-reader, but like, use the Kindle. Okay, where am I going to go today? I'm going to read some stuff on the Kindle. The purpose of public education is the article that's at the top of my list. It's from The Guardian. And is there anything else to tell you? Probably not. I'm in Topaz. You can find it out on Foursquare.com. Stop on exit 8 on the M8 if you want to see this place. Bring a kid. Enjoy the place. McDonald's is right around the corner. I'm topgold on Twitter. Irish Eyes is what I use on Flickr.com/Irish Eyes for photographs of my journeys. There's a geocache around here if you're going to be into that. Or if you just want to stop by and tickle the feet. There's going to be a happy little camper that would appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. Take care. Enjoy your July. It's Bernie Goldbach. Topaz. Bye for now.